G'day. This video is it's not a maintenance video, it's more of a discussion. I want to discuss the difference between the Alloytec and the Ecotec engine, just in case anybody's thinking about which one to go for. And I'm no expert, and there are a lot of people out there who know a lot more than what I do. This is only my opinion based on my personal experiences. I've owned 3 Ecotecs: a VS, a VY Acclaim station wagon, and my red VY Ute. I always resisted buying an Alloytec. I didn't want one until I started doing a bit of research to find out why they fail, why the timing chains fail. There's a video I watched of a bloke in America who explains it in great detail. And they're not as bad as what you think, but because they're a high interference engine, there's a lot more that can go wrong. There's more moving parts, there's more seals. So I'm going to start with what I know about the Ecotec. Now, the Ecotec is a cast iron engine, cast iron heads, set up very much like a V8, one camshaft in the middle, push rods and overhead valve, and it's pretty good. I haven't had any major dramas at all with an Ecotec engine. The worst thing, I think, the heater tap blew in the wagon. That was probably the worst thing that happened to that, so I replaced all the hoses. Then while I was doing that, I managed to stuff up the crank angle sensor, but it didn't die, but it did die in my earlier VS station wagon. In the VY Ute, if you watch my videos, you'll know that the DFI module died, which knocked out 2 cylinders, but I was very lucky. I was very close to home when it happened, but I still would have got home, you know, so it didn't actually stop. I think the crank angle sensor is the only thing that'll stop you. Yes. Heating, they don't overheat really, unless there's something really wrong with them. There's not much else I can tell you. Mine's got 240,000, the one I got now. The one in the station wagon was very similar. Very good engine. Very good engine. The one in the station wagon was probably a little bit better than what's in the Ute. But the one in the Ute, I've installed a little bit of mace gear. And I'll tell you how I decide what bits I'm going to put on. I have a look on Marketplace, eBay. You see what bits people are selling that they've had on their car and they're selling. So I didn't install any of those spacers. Now, somebody else may have experience with them and they might be able to let me know whether they work or not. I'm not saying they don't work, but I see a lot of them for sale secondhand. Same as the LS1, I know we're not talking about LS1s here, but the LS1 over the radiator air intakes. I was going to put one on the Ute, on the white Ute, but I see a lot of them for sale, you know, so that makes me a bit sus. So I'll tell you what I have got in the red Ute. I installed one of their throttle bodies, and again, this is only my personal experience. I'm not a technician or a mechanic or anything, so throttle body, when I installed it, couldn't feel any difference. You know, you probably need to do a few other mods to get any benefit out of it. But I put one on. The coils are going well. I can't complain about them. But I think, are they worth the extra money? Well, I don't have any way to measure it. But just from the driver's seat point of view, no. I would just put original coils on. So the one mod that I did do that was worth it was the ECU. I bought an ECU from Mace, a reprogrammed one. Told them what the engine was fairly standard. Well, it is standard. And I did notice a difference with that. So probably together with the other mods I did to the car, it has made a difference. So now I think that the engine in the VY Ute is a lot better than when I got it. Like, it does go pretty well. There's no extractors. It's got a bigger exhaust on it, but only a catback one. It goes pretty well. You probably know it's a 5-speed manual, but it goes all right. I'm really happy with it. It's done a lot of work, that car. Like I said, the engine in the wagon, stock standard, was really good, like power wise. If I get on to my limited experience with Alloytecs, you probably saw, I don't know if anyone's watched the last video, the one before it, sorry, where I did the coil packs and that. I don't really know whether Mace sent me the wrong ones or I ordered the wrong ones. I'd have to go back and have a look. But I ended up with VE coils. I've since bought the correct ones, but I'm not going to put them on until these ones die. Just based on my experience with the VY Ute and changing the coils in that. So I'll just wait until they die. Fuel injectors, I cleaned in both of them. I don't have a video of the Ecotec one, the VY Ute one, but I did it in both the wagon and the Ute. It's well worth it. Well worth it. And in the Alloytec, in the Adventurer, I've noticed a big difference. It's a lot smoother. So yeah, new plugs, you know, rebuilt injectors, if you could put new seals and a new filter in the top rebuilt. Yeah, it's worth it. Other problems, I'll tell you what I know about Alloytecs. Apparently they're a high maintenance engine, which I agree with. I can tell you now they are. You got to watch the oil level. They do use oil because of the crankcase breather system on them. You have to keep the oil level up. Apparently if the oil level gets low, that's what makes the timing chains get hot and they stretch, and then you got to pull off your engine apart. I'm very lucky with the engine in the Adventurer. It's a very good engine. It's no noises, and I don't plan on changing any timing chains. I just plan on maintaining it and looking after the oil level. Having said that, I have noticed that because there are a lot more seals in them, there's a lot more to replace. So yesterday I found a problem with the camshaft position solenoid, I think it's called, on the left-hand side facing the car, but driver's side of the car. The seal's gone and it's pissing out oil. So when you have a look at them, there's a camshaft position sensor in both sides and a camshaft, they call it, what is it, a camshaft position actuator or something like that. Anyway, that's the longer one. That one's got a seal. The camshaft position sensor, I believe, has an O-ring. So that'll be another job. Not very hard, but yeah, another job. But yeah, I heard you can have overheating problems with the Alloytec, but then again, it all comes down to maintenance. You know, you have to maintain them. You'll get away with more with a Ecotec than you will with an Alloytec. So, you know, if you want to be slack and you don't change your oil that often, you go for an Ecotec. If you're a young bloke and you're thinking about buying one of these, even the VX, VT, whatever, you don't have to worry about Alloytecs. But if you buy a VZ, you have to keep on top of it. If you're not very mechanically minded, I would go for the Ecotec. It's a lot more reliable, I think. But This is only my opinion. And I've only had the car for coming up to a year now, so this is the Adventurer. Yeah, I just thought I'd make this video to discuss the differences. Apart from that, I know if they sit for too long, all the scale inside dries up, and then when you fire it up, it all goes down into the sump. You can plug your oil pump. The trick is you don't let them get that bad in the first place. You change your oil all the time. I do it every 5,000 Ks, which is probably too much. I think they say 10,000 at the most. But yes, that Alloytecs. Okay, this is another thing I wanted to mention. The Alloytec in the VZ is a 190 kilowatt high output engine, they call it. Now, as far as driving goes, I'm not saying that there's not 190 kilowatts there, but the difference between the two, now either the most stuff I put on the Ecotec is bump the horsepower right up, or what they claim for the Alloytec is bullshit, because there is not a lot of difference between those two cars. Like, I don't get in that Adventurer and go, holy shit, this has got a lot more power than the Ute. You know, it's not that noticeable. So if you're sort of on the fence about which way to go and you think the Alloytec might have more power, you'd have to rev the shit out of it to probably get to where the power is, whereas the Ecotec's power is down low, like more down low in the rev range. So anyway, like I said, I'm no expert, right? So people can criticise if they want, that's fine. This is only based on my experience, because at the moment I own both of them and I get out of one and in the other. I'd say the Alloytec is smoother, but power wise you don't notice a lot of difference. Even with the 190, I don't notice a lot of difference. So I've either, the mods I've done to the Ecotec are really good, or the Alloytec is not as quick as what they reckon. Anyway, let me know what you think, and like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.